Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at Mega Symphonia and Mega Brave. Those new sets that I told you were going to be revealed this weekend have gone and been revealed at Japan Championships. Is it weird that for some reason they only did the reveals on Sunday and did no reveals on Saturday? Just left us hanging for a whole day? Yes. Yes, it's weird that happened. And I don't know why that happened. And I kind of wish it hadn't happened. But it did. Let's move on with our lives. Of course, when I tell you guys that I called this and I told you this was going to happen, it's not meant as some kind of empty boast. My point here is that when I tell you stuff like this in the future, you can go, yeah, no, Wassy said this last time and he was right. We can believe him this time. It is Mega Symphonia and Mega Brave. It is confirmed for release on the 1st of August, as we suspected. It is a Mega Focus set. We do have some new Mega Pokemon to talk about, but they have not shown us any actual new Mega Pokemon. They are obviously being saved for Legend ZA. That I'm assuming there will be some new Megas. I have no insider information, but come on. They're bringing Megas back in the game. They're probably going to give us some new Mega Pokemon. What we do have today, however, is new cards of Mega Pokemon that we already knew about. And you know what? That'll do as a nice little start now, won't it? And of course, do remember, this set will be out before the World Championships in Japan, but obviously will not be legal for the World Championships because it's not going to be out before Worlds everywhere else, in the West, etc. It's not going to be out, so sorry about that. Feel free to be upset about it. There's not a huge amount we can do. Now, previously we saw Gardevoir and Lucario. They were shown off again today, but we kind of already knew this. Like, they're not new at this point. But here's what's weird. We already had Power Protein. That was already revealed. We already knew that was a thing. It says that your fighting Pokemon do an extra 30 damage to your opponent's active. This isn't a new card. This was shown off in Japan when they initially showed us Gardevoir and Lucario a while ago. But there's a stadium for Psychic Pokemon that wasn't shown off at the same time. Why did they show us this specific card for fighting Pokemon when they showed us Lucario, but they didn't show us a specific card for Psychic Pokemon when they showed us Gardevoir? That's weird, right? They've got these two kind of headline EXs, and they both have this specific support card. And yet, for some reason, one of them was shown off with the initial reveal and one they made us wait a couple extra months for. Cannot be the only one that thinks that's a little bit weird. But this stadium is kind of busted and might be the best card they showed off today. Because what we've got here with this stadium is called Mystery Garden. And once during each player's turn, they can discard an energy card from their hand. And if they do, they draw cards until they have as many cards in hand as they have Psychic Pokemon in play. So, presuming you've got 6 Psychic Pokemon in play, you discard an energy from your hand, and you draw until you've got 6 cards in hand. If anyone's thinking, hang on a second, well, see, that sounds like a Psychic Stadium version of Genesect. Yeah, it's that. It's Genesect, but instead of being a Pokemon ability for Fusion Strike Pokemon, it's a stadium for Psychic Pokemon. But same basic kind of deal. And this just fits into Gardevoir so beautifully. Like, we already know that Mega Gardevoir is going to fit phenomenally with the Gardevoir from Scarlet and Violet base, which will rotate out when we get to, like, January in Japan, like April over here, like we get the rotation every year. But not until that happens. The Mega set is coming out pre-rotation, so although we're not going to have Gardevoir forever, we're still going to have it when this set comes out. And remember that Gardevoir accelerates energy from the discard pile. You want energy in the discard pile when you're playing Gardevoir. We're now getting Mega Gardevoir EX, which, not for nothing, has a redonkulous attack that does 50 damage for each psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. And now we got this new stadium, which is both a draw engine and a way to get your energy in your discard more easily. Yeah, this stadium is nuts, ladies and gentlemen. absolutely nuts. But I promised you some new Mega Pokemon. We have some new Mega Pokemon. We've got Mega Venusaur, and something should stand out to you when you look at this card. There is something very special about this card. 380 HP. The highest natural HP of any Pokemon we've ever had. And it actually kind of smashes the previous record. The previous record was 340. Anyone remember what the original card that set that was? It was Snorlax VMAX back in Sword and Shield base. And we've had a bunch of 340 HP Pokemon since, including my boy Mamoswine. The most recent one was Metagross, if anybody's wondering. And for a long time, for the whole of the Sword and Shield era, and the whole of the Scarlet and Violet era, 340 was the record. That was the maximum natural HP any Pokemon could have. And now Pokemon have turned around and they've been like, nah, mate. 340, that is so last year. 380, now 380. And now the down's been broken, we're going to see this again in the future. Like I say, we've had nothing above 340 naturally. Obviously, there's always ways to boost it up. But we've had nothing above 340 naturally. Now we go up to 380. As a fun little side note, the Venusaur from 151 and the Venusaur from Stellar Crown both had 340 HP. And the reason that's relevant is it was the joint record holder. It has now set a new record. Don't expect any Pokemon to go above this, unless you get like a Wailord. We all know Wailord's sometimes an exception, often an exception. So yes, we have broken the 340 barrier and gone up to 380, but Venusaur was one of the Pokemon sharing that last time, so assume it's going to be the same thing here again. Even the really big dudes, other than Wailord's different, expect them not to go above 380. This is not one of those ones where we set a new record, but we're waiting for one of the big guys. This is one of the big guys. Very important side note. That's why we had to look at Venusaur EX. So what does it actually do? Well, it's got Venusaur's ability. As often as you like, during your turn, you may move a basic grass energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. And I call this Venusaur's ability because this is literally base set Venusaur's ability. Base set Venusaur, in the very first set ever, let you, as often as you like during your turn, move a basic energy, grass, from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. And we've seen this a bunch. It's a very grass Pokemon kind of ability, but Venusaur had it first way back in the day, and I kind of love this. Base set Venusaur's back. The issue here is kind of energy, though. Getting energy is a little bit of a pain. Grass is not phenomenal at that right now, and you've got a 4 energy attack, which is a bit of a pain. But you know what else we've got right now? We've got Dashbun. You know what Dashbun does? Yeah, when you evolve into it, you can heal all damage from each of your evolution Pokemon, and then you have to discard all energy from them. But what you do, and we've seen this a bunch, this is a tactic we've seen a lot in the history of the Pokemon trading card game. What you do is you move the energy off, then you play Dashbun and heal, then you just move the energy back. Job's a good un. And it's important to note, Venusaur lets you move grass energy, but it's from any Pokemon to another, i.e. you don't have to only move it onto or away from a grass Pokemon, so it means you can literally just stash all your energy somewhere, heal and come back. And actually, while we're here, there is a new card we need to mention. It is Wally's Compassion. It's a supporter card that heals all damage from one of your Mega Evolution Pokemon, and if you do, you put all energy attached to that Pokemon back into your hand, which is a big downside, unless you're using something like Venusaur, because obviously what you do here is you move the energy off using Venusaur, you heal up Venusaur, and then you move the energy back. So you essentially end up with a 380 HP Pokemon, and obviously there's always ways to make that higher, and then you've got healing with no real downside as well. Add all of that up, and yes, this is a very big deal, and I mean that literally. As for the attack is fine but underwhelming. 240 HP, heal 30. It's fine, 240 will get basic EXs and all of that. The healing is quite nice when you combine it with a giant HP, blah, blah, blah. It's not a great attack and it's too expensive, but the theory here is that Venusaur is a tank. Venusaur not getting KO'd. So it doesn't matter too much here. You can just sit there and tank it right out. It's interesting. I kind of like this. It's still a stage 2 for 4 energy, but we've got some potential here. Oh, give it a score, I don't know, between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I'm not convinced yet, although again, do remember, we're at the beginning of the reveal cycle. There may well be other stuff in here that changes our minds quite a lot. But as it stands at the moment, there's at least some potential. Oh, and I suppose while we're here, we probably should just check out the pre-evolutions quickly. Shout out to the Hyganasuke artwork on the Bulbasaur. Obviously, oh, and actually the Takumi Wada on the Ivysaur. This is a great pair of pre-evolutions. Ivysaur needs no translations. As for Bulbasaur here, single energy, 10 damage, and it stops your opponent retreating next turn. It's not that great, I'll be honest with you, but the artwork is stunning. Moving over to the other big EX we've got here, it is Mega Latias EX. And what we got here is 280 HP, but it's on a basic with no weakness. So again, this is huge. Single energy, 40, and you may switch to the bench, which, this is kind of cool, honestly. Switching to the bench is kind of cool, because then you just throw up a wall, again, until it rotates out. You can have something like a Mimikyu here. You hit 40, you whack a Mimikyu in the active, and your opponent just sits there being like, well, hang on a second. I can't KO. I have nothing that can KO Mimikyu. And maybe they can gust you into the active or something along those lines and then attacking if they can. Brilliant. But if they can't, I'm just saying, this could be kind of fun. It's not a huge amount of damage, but 40 isn't nothing. And then you start playing around with tools and things of that nature and using walls, I don't know, Clef Key, so that your opponent can't use abilities. I don't know, I'm just saying, these hit and run decks have worked in the past, and also 280 HP, no weakness. As for the big attack, free energy 300, and you have to discard all energy from it. So it's another one of these which is super awkward, because it's not even just discarding free energy, it's a fire, a psychic, and a colorless. But the theory here is that essentially you're hitting and running, and that is buying you time, and that will buy you time to attach energy to Latias, and then you can come in and do your big attack and then go back to hitting and running. While we're here, we do have a Latios, and Latios is weird. Like, free energy 130, terrible, just to be clear. But it's got an ability for Mega Latias. Like, literally, the ability is, once during your turn, when your Mega Latias EX moves from the bench to the active, you can move any number of energy from your bench Pokemon to that active Pokemon. So it's literally an ability for Mega Latias, but it's on a Latios on your bench. It's not the first time we've ever seen stuff like this, but it's still weird. This is a very weird way to do this. But it means that you can essentially play around with other stuff, have other Pokemon attacking and playing around, and then you just bench Mega Latias, bench Latios, switch Mega Latias into the active, and then you're hitting 300 right now. And let's take something like a Dragapult, for instance. Well, Dragapult is playing Fire Energy, and Dragapult is playing Psychic Energy. So let's say you've got a Dragapult with 2 energy on, but Dragapult does 200 to the active and 6 damage counter to the bench. Great, but sometimes you need more raw damage on the active. Well, if you've got a Dragapult with 2 energy on, bench Mega Latias, attach 1, bench Latios, switch it into the active, move the 2 energy from Dragapult, and then you're hitting 300, which is 100 more to the active than Dragapult can do. I'm giving this 4 Wassies. I think this has great potential. Either as its own deck with hit and run and then big hit, or in any deck playing Fire and Psychic Energy, it's a 2-card combo which gives big smacks. Oh, and while we're talking about Mega Pokemon, we've got a ridiculously good item card. Mega Signal, search your deck for a Mega Evolution Pokemon EX, reveal it, and put it into your hand. It's just a search for Mega Pokemon. It's obviously brilliant. There we go. It's a 5 Wassie card, just because if you're playing a Mega deck, this is just item-based search to go and get your mega guaranteed. Like, it's phenomenal. There we go. So look, I promised you a new set, I promised you new megas, I've delivered, and now it's over to you guys. What do you like about these new megas? What do you think about 380 HP? What do you think about Latias potentially being a beast in the late game? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Chelsea Rose, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now, is a big supporter of ours, so shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.